could do something about it. And if they do something, we have a great country and we have a balanced budget, because these are the kind of numbers. And I actually said to them, I said to Russell, don't send any money for daycare, because the United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up, but it's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing: military protection. We have to guard the country. But all these little things, all these little scams that have taken place, you have to let states take care of them, Russell, and you have to do it. Linda McMahon, she's done such a great job. She's moved education back to the states. And you know what? You need congressional approval. I said, don't worry about it, just do it.
That last part is important. Did you catch it? Donald Trump does understand that the Constitution prohibits him dismantling organizations and entities within the structure of the government that were created by Congress. That the president does not have the authority under the Constitution to do that. He knows it. He just said as much, and he said, I just told you just to do it. It's not possible for us to take care of daycare, Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things. So if you listen to Donald Trump, we're the hottest country in the world right now. We're hot as a pistol. No country compares itself to the on-fire nature of our economy. We're the wealthiest country, the most powerful country. Nobody can touch the United States. We're the best. We're the best. We're the best. But we're also super poor and can't afford to take care of our most vulnerable people. We can't afford because of Donald Trump's one big beautiful bill. We can't afford to fund SNAP benefits for hungry kids to ensure that they are cognitively, socially developed enough to get an education and get a good paying job, and then move on into the economy to support it for a future generation. We don't have enough money for that. We don't have enough money for daycare and Medicare and Medicare. We don't have any money for this, even though Donald Trump, in the course of all of his braggadocious lies, says that we just got $18 trillion worth of investments into the United States. Make that make sense. $18 trillion. That is a phenomenal. I mean, it's a lie, but you can't get it. You don't get it both ways. This whole entire narrative that we're a big country, we have 50 states, all these people, we don't have enough money because we're fighting wars. I promised we wouldn't be in. I thought it wasn't a war, just a military action. We don't have money to feed hungry children. We don't have money for daycare. We don't have money for these little individual scams like Medicaid and Medicare. This coming from the man, by the way, who, like I said, one won't shut the fuck up about the America being the most powerful, the richest, the greatest, whatever. But also, Donald Trump promised that he would pay off the national debt. In fact, just 2 days ago or so was the 10-year anniversary of Donald Trump promising, in an interview with the Washington Post with Bob Woodward, that he would pay off the entire national debt at the time in 4 years. I'm going to read from Reason magazine, a libertarian, a conservative outlet talking about this, but even conservative financial market coverage outlets are critical of Donald Trump and his handling of the economy, his handling of debt, his handling of all of these promises that he makes relative to paying off the national debt and keeping us out of debt, but then just piling on trillions to the national debt. Even with the one big beautiful bill bullshit, they added trillions of dollars to the national debt while talking about balancing budgets. And we don't have enough money because we've given it all the billionaires. We've given it all to the most elite class in the United States. There's no money for hungry children. There's no money for grandma on Medicaid. There's no money for disabled people on Medicaid. There's dwindling money for Medicare, but plenty of money for Elon Musk to not pay taxes. Plenty of money for Donald Trump and Don Jr. and Eric and Ivanka and the rest of the dipshits to not pay taxes. Plenty of money for that. This is from Fortune. Trump's economy was already exploding the national debt before his $1 billion a day war in Iran. Analysts warn about what comes next. That's just the headline. Donald Trump will go down in history as a virtual destroyer of the American economy. All of these people who scream about the national debt, you can just ignore them because they don't care about it. Otherwise, they would not give wild tax cuts to billionaires so that they can avoid paying taxes, avoid contributing to the nation that gave them so much. And here's Reason magazine, a conservative, libertarian oriented outlet, talking about it. 10 years ago today, Trump promised to eliminate the national debt. Instead, it has doubled. Trump's ridiculous, grandiose promise tells us something about the federal government's fiscal affairs and the president's approach to policy. 10 years ago today, Donald Trump said he would pay off the national debt in the span of just 8 years. That did not happen. Instead, the gross national debt has doubled since that day, from around $19 trillion to over $39 trillion. Much of that additional borrowing has taken place during Trump's 5+ years in the White House. The gap between Trump's outlandish promise and the brutal fiscal reality of the past decade is not just a political gotcha. It's also an apt illustration of how far and how fast the debt has spiraled. And it's a painful reminder of missed opportunity that Americans will be facing for a long, long time. The bill for these 10 years of fiscal profligacy, I'm not sure what that word means. I'm going to have to look it up after this. The bill for these 10 years of fiscal profligacy will be coming due long after Trump has finally departed from the political scene. Does that mean dead? Is seconds that what they're saying? But it's a story that starts, as everything in politics seems to these days, with Trump. And this is from the Washington Post article, "We are not a rich country. We're a debtor nation," is what then-candidate Trump told the Washington Post in an interview on March 31st, 2016. A full transcript was published 2 days later. "We've got to get rid of the $19 trillion in debt. How long would it take to do that?" asked the Post pop Bob Woodward. "Fairly quickly," Trump replied. When pressed for a more specific answer, Trump provided a shocking timeline. Quote, "This is Donald Trump. I would say over a period of 8 years. And a lot of people out there will say, yeah, well, CO came along and there were the CO stimulus packages that both Biden and Donald Trump passed. He put us in debt like $2.3 trillion before CO even was a thing because of his first round of tax cuts. It is irresponsible governorship. We need people to be supported, and the billionaire class the W. I'm not talking even about just your random small business owner who colours themselves a millionaire. I'm talking about people with insane, immoral, ostentatious wealth. The Elon Musks, the Bill Gateses, the Warren Buffetts, the Jeff Bezoses, the Larry Ellison, the David Ellisons, the Donald Trumps. These types are getting let off the hook at the expense of people who desperately need a hand up in our society. People whose lives could be inextricably made better with just a small investment that now we don't have the money for because Donald Trump wants to gut daycare and Medicaid and Medicare SNAP benefits. A guy who's never gone hungry other than in between Big Macs when his tum starts grumbling. Never gone hungry. Never faced what that's like. And Republicans cheer. The Christians who ostensibly follow the preachings and practices and philosophies of Jesus, who talked more about the poor and taking care of the sick and the infirmed and the oppressed than anything else. They worship at the throne of this man, Donald Trump. Anyway, got a little too long. What do you think? I welcome you to this conversation. Let's have it in the comments below the video. Wherever you're watching it, whether that be Facebook or YouTube, make sure you're liking and following the Facebook page and you subscribe on YouTube. I would appreciate it very much. Engage with this content, whether that be commenting or liking or sharing. All of that goes a long way in an effort to support this work and disseminate the truth to people who might not otherwise get it. Anyway, I'm Nova Sterling. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.